morning, Ashutosh, Kirti Patil, Manjiri Dalimbe, Abhishek Atole, Sheetal Markad, Bini Thakur, Anjali Kumari, Gaurav, Prachi, Ganesh Chandgude, Vishal, Rutuja, Rasika, Swarada, Asmita, Tejas, Saurabh, Bhagyashri, Nikita, Harshada, and Gautam. Just a moment. Let me just check what's wrong with me. Okay. So, a new week, and we need to start with new things as far as our geography lectures are concerned. Just to remind you all, last lecture we spoke about the issue about million, billion, and placing the crores and the lakhs in between them. And yeah, I didn't tell you all that you should be buying a dictionary of your respective subjects also. That's a wise thing to do as far as looking into a particular subject is concerned, because you have a dictionary handy when you are looking for core terms in that particular dictionary. And yeah, we did speak about how a geographer would be looking at the corona issues happening around him. A few new things that I would be referring to today, besides the PPT that we were following last time called the Basics of Geography, is that yesterday I did post a few, a scan, I suppose, as I would call it as a scan of the Times of India thing, which had around 5 very good articles in it. And I did mention the topics of these articles also. And I would suggest that you should be reading these articles. There was a time when we were in school, we did not have such scanning, etc. We used to have what are called as paper cuttings. I would call these an advanced model of paper cuttings. You basically take up the scan of that particular page and you can post it. And I believe scanning that particular page helps you to read through the whole issue very clearly. Okay, a photograph has limitations. A scan does not have the limitations for. I am also going to speak about a new app I'm going to request you all to download. I've already asked the art students to do that, and this app is called as the Weather and Radar. Weather and Radar. You can search for this in the Google Play Store. Now, why am I asking you all to download this? We as Indians, we keep experiencing a regular change of weather. All over India, of course, you have a variety of weather, and on a particular place also there is a change in weather. Remember, I'm saying weather, and I'm not saying climate. There is a definite difference between climate and weather. Weather is a temporary condition. Climate is the average of the weather over a longer period of time. Of course, this aspect of climatology is going to be there in the second term, second semester, I would say. But unlike Indians, if you go to developed countries, say for example, countries of Europe and the countries of North America. North America has, or say, a couple or 3 countries only, but Europe as well. You'll see that the unpredictability of the weather in these 2 continents requires individuals there to have something called as a weather app. Now, it is not necessary that you download the app I am suggesting. you can look for your own weather app. In fact, nowadays Google also has its own weather app, but the Google app, I would say, from the viewpoint of a geographer, has some limitations. And weather app, Google app, a weather app is basically a layman's app, I would say. That everybody needs to understand. But when I'm speaking about a specialized weather app, I am using Weather and Radar, and that is why I am suggesting you Weather and Radar. I can go into analysis of a few more things, and I I uh, I can assure you, yeah, that you can understand geography further well. You can understand various aspects of weather further well once you have it in your mobile phones. And I have a slide wherein I would be going into a bit of details as far as the Weather and Radar app is concerned. I would be speaking about that when we go into the PPT as such. But I persuade you all, I would say, to have a weather app installed amongst the other apps. Okay, this helps you in your studies also. Then about tomorrow, let me tell you that the English medium students, or rather the regular lecture of geography, will not be there. Okay, so you would be free at 9:30 tomorrow. But towards the latter part of the day, those students who I am going to communicate with, and in fact, I have come up with a new WhatsApp group for those students who would require some Marathi to be added in this. I'm going to conduct a lecture for them. That is not going to be on StreamYard. That is going to be on Zoom, and I would be posting the link to that particular Zoom app on the respective WhatsApp group. Okay, I would be posting it in the Marathi, not, I won't call it medium, but the Marathi Bridge Course app WhatsApp group. I would put it in a more sophisticated way. Another thing, as far as college bulletin is concerned, I would like to inform you that so I missed out. Yeah, Prajwali. Yeah, I knew video is paused, and I had a problem with my internet, so I've shifted to another internet that I have with me. Fortunately, this should not buffer. Um, the earlier one was BSNL, and I would not go into the details of public sector and private sector and so on and so forth. Anyway, so coming back to the fact that in a couple of days or within the span of this particular week, you'd be receiving your individual credentials, because if you remember in the induction lecture, I had told you all that we would be soon shifting to a common platform, and the college was in the process of identifying that platform, and we have in fact connected with these Google people, and we are shifting to uh, Google Suits. What's it called? G Suits, and it's basically a meeting app, but then it is more specialized for lecturing, live stream lecturing as well. So whenever you get your credentials, you'll also get the notices as to how to log in. Remember, if you remember in your admission forms, you are required to post in your Gmail IDs. If you don't have your Gmail IDs, one, and secondly, if you have given a Gmail ID of somebody else, okay, see that when you log into your G Suite accounts, you have your own Gmail ID, because all notices, evaluation, lectures, notes, etc. will be posted on G Suites now, and the notification of lectures starting and ending and so on and so forth would be coming on G Suite. So be ready with your own Gmail account. If That's another thing that I wanted to tell you all about. And if I've finished with, yeah, of course, last time we also spoke about Mars in opposition, and I think Vishal, it has already started working. Vishal says the video is paused. I don't know. At my end, it is not paused now, and in fact, it is fine at my end. Possibly your internet should be having a problem. Please check it at your end. Yes, initially I had a problem a couple of minutes ago, but I feel that at my end it is fine now. Okay, let us go to what we are supposed to be, what we were supposed to continue from where we stopped last time, and that is this, right? So we are with geography, and we spoke about this slide, and we have spoke about this slide also, the synthesis of geography being the mother of all earth. And of course, we went into all these six rather small diagrams that you had, or I would say photos that we had. Eratosthenes, we owe to him basically because not only that he gave us the most precise circumference of the earth, and I spoke about how he did it, and how he actually plotted the map of the earth of that at that particular point of time. But more importantly, he is the person who have coined the for to have coined the word geography for us. The word that we use, geography, is coined 2000 years ago. So, and that is why we very proudly say that geography is amongst the oldest of the sciences, earth sciences. And then we spoke about this fact that when we define geography, it's basically the study of the earth in space and in time. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay. Instead of space, I would say I would refer to location, and the more appropriate geographic term used for space in geography is spatial location, and for time, as I said last time, we call it as temporal. Okay, what is the temporal shift, what is the spatial shift, and so on and so forth. And of course, we also understood this concept of scale. It's the proportionate ratio of what you are actually doing on paper, and how it is related to the actual distance between 2 points on the earth. Okay, a map is basically the best example of how you understand the concept of scale. Okay, from right from a local map, a tourist map, all the way to the world map also. And in all these things, we normally look at all these scales with reference to man as a concept in this particular scale. Yes, I was referring to this map and this app, and I purposely took some screenshots and I've posted it for you all. Now, as I said, as far as the App Store, Google Apps is concerned, you can look for weather and radar. Now, because it is already with me, it says open, but if it is not with you, you would obviously be required to install that. And of course, if you want, I'm of course going to go into the details, because this is not just for the sake of having it in our mobile. We are going to study this. Okay, you'll see that as far as this whole thing is concerned, it gives you a forecast not only of the place you are at. You'll see that you'll get the satellite image, you get the weather map as it is called, of a particular area. And why I am saying particular area, it gives you your location as well as any place on the surface of this particular planet that you can that you desire, you can have it for you. Besides that, of course, you'll see that throughout the day, or throughout the week, throughout the fortnight, you can get the differences here. It's basically the minimum temperature and the maximum temperature for today, and then from tomorrow, and of course onwards. Then of course you have a minimum maximum graph for the whole fortnight. And of course at the base here, you'll see that for a couple of, because these are some things that we have done today, you'll see that for around 4 to 5 days we are still going to experience some rainfall. Sorry, not this is not for us. I believe this is for London. But as I would say that this is for London overall. But as far as our place also is concerned, now because I'm located in Chinchwad, you'll see that the temperature at 7 o'clock in the morning was around 22 degrees centigrade. Now, what else do you have here? What we have here is this. Okay, now, this, of course, we all know this is the sun. So, sunrise upward is sunrise. So, 6:30 is the sunrise time at Chinchwad, and 6:09, that's 18:09, okay, is the sunset time. Now, what you can you understand from this, that we are beyond the what is called as the equinox, which happened on 22nd of September, and we are already into October. So you'll see that the daytime is much shorter. Okay, it's gone shorter by around 21 minutes. 2021 minutes already. And besides that, what else can we have, or rather we have here, is you'll see that today, year hour by hour, how is it going to change? You'll see that the temperatures, obviously, as the time goes up, you'll see that the temperatures are going to rise for the day. But it says that it's going to be partially cloudy. Okay, you'll see that it's going to be partially cloudy. Then this arrow here, okay, this arrow here is the wind direction. So the wind is going to move in this particular direction. The possibility of rain for the next 3 hours, 4 hours is very low. Normally, when it is below 50%, you should not be expecting. You could have local patches, but you should not be expecting rain as such. Now, what is this 40, 40, 40, 40? That is AQI, the air quality index. Besides that, you can have the air pressure at 7 o'clock. You can have the relative humidity. Now, remember here, the relative humidity reads 90. That means there rain can fall, but the possibility of rain is very low. So we did not have rain early morning today around our places in Chinchwad, Pimpri Chinchwad area. As I said, this 40 here, AQI, this 40 is AQI, and it's 40, so it reads good as such. Now, let me tell you that 0 AQI is not I would say the desirable limit. You need to have some amount of aspects in the air around you, because absolutely dry air is very harmful as well. We'll of course go into the details of that when we go into the second semester. And then, as I said, this arrow here, okay, light wind from west. Okay, so the point of the arrow is towards the direction in which the wind is blowing, and of course the back of the arrow is from where the wind is coming. So from west, and the speed of the wind is around 5 kilometers per hour. Now, 5 kilometers per hour is a very gentle breeze, I would say. So I would request you all to have this app, and of course, in times to come, I'm going to go into the details of how we should be playing with this particular thing. Every day, I will try to come up with one particular addition to all that we are doing. Okay, and this is going to be very interesting. I can assure you for that. Okay, while we study geography at one side, of course, or the theory part of it, as I said, that unless and until you know the application of the subject that you are doing, it does not create that much amount of interest in that particular subject. So this is one of the applications. There are several applications as far as geography is concerned. I remember one of the students said that, can you speak on the opportunities in geography? And last week itself, I said that please hold your horses unless and until, if you know where all geography is used. I don't have to tell you all as far as opportunities in geography is concerned. You yourself would be very well known to what all these opportunities are. Okay, so this is as far as the app, weather and radar app, I want you all to search for. And in fact, you can start playing with. By the way, let me tell you that there are two versions of this particular app. There is a paid version of this and there is a free version of this. Now, I don't recommend the paid version. The only difference between the paid version and the free version is that you have ads in between. So ads hardly matter much. I would not ask you all to go for the paid version. You can use the free version. Okay, that's the last thing that I wanted to add to all that I have been referring to this app, weather and radar. You'll see that the downloads for this is more than 50 million. Okay, and the fact that you have more than 50 million downloads means that this is a reliable app. And let me tell you, I've been testing this, I've been using this for the last 3 years. So it's seldom that I have problems with this particular app. In fact, I have been improving my information about geography for different parts of the world. And as I said, I will go into the details of how you play with this app further in our lecture next time. Remember, tomorrow we don't have a lecture, but I'm scheduling a Zoom lecture for the other batch of students where I would be speaking in Marathi. If you want, you can. I've posted the link of that group in the WhatsApp group as well. So if you want to get added there are around 30 students there, I suppose. And if you are interested, you can join there as well. Tomorrow, our regular lecture is not there. Fine. Let us move ahead and let us see what actually geography is all about. In the sense, what are the 5 themes of geography? Okay. The first one is something that we have partially also done, that when I spoke about scale and all, location, that any object on this particular planet occupies some space. We said that geography is the study of space. So uh, when I say that any object is going to occupy some space, I mean the moment any object occupies space, it could be a river, it could be a jungle, it could be a forest, it could be a mountain, or it could be an individual. Now, when we are referring to an individual, it comes to a very small scale. You'll see that places like cities are not visible when you put them up on a world map. Okay, you'll see that an individual is out of scale in that particular issue. So how are you going to locate a particular individual? How are you going to locate a particular place on this surface? Okay, give the exact or absolute location using latitude and longitude. We are going to speak about latitudes and longitudes. Now you would say, we know that, but let me tell you that you know it with reference to some basic things that you have done in the school. But my experience says that more than 60% of the students that I have come across confuse themselves between latitudes and longitudes. Most of them don't know the story of the latitudes and longitudes. Most of them don't know the geographical reference of latitudes and longitudes. And mind you, we are going to go into all that details when we are going to understand latitudes and longitudes. Now, it's not just for the sake of understanding latitudes, longitudes. Doing this is very necessary so that we understand all other aspects of geography, the geomorphology of geography, the climatology aspect in geography, and so on and so forth. So when we speak about a location, there are 2 types of location, I would rather say. So, an absolute location is there in front of you. It's basically the intersection of latitude and longitude. Now, to put this in a scientific aspect, I would say that what I do when how do I refer to latitudes and longitudes to something that I've already been doing as a science student? You have a graph paper, and on a graph paper, you have an X and Y axis. What I do is I put this X and Y axis in a perspective when I am marking latitudes and longitudes on the surface of the Earth. Now you would say that the Earth, of course, is a sphere. Now what do? I cut the sphere along a particular line, and then I open it up, and the 3-dimensional sphere now becomes a 2-dimensional object, and I paste it in that grid of X and Y axis. Okay. Now the point along the x-axis, that is the horizontal axis, I take units and I draw vertical lines passing through that particular units. These vertical lines are nothing but longitudes. And along the y-axis, that's the vertical axis of the graph setup that we have in front of us. On the y-axis, I take unit distances, and then I stretch or I draw horizontal lines. And as far as these horizontal lines are concerned, these are latitudes. Now, obviously, latitudes and longitudes are not as simple as I've told you all here. But just to put things in perspective, location, an absolute location, is a mathematical way of identifying where an object, it could be a large object like a mountain or a river, or it could be a small object like a house or a settlement at a particular location. Now, if I want an absolute location of that, I'm going to look for the latitudes and longitudes of that particular location. and that is why that is called as an absolute location. Similarly, I'm going to have a relative location. Now, what exactly is a relative location? Here again, the scale comes to use. Now, on a very large scale, or on a broad scale, I would say, not a large scale, on a broad scale, I would say that when we are referring to continents, okay, say for example, I am referring to the European continent. Okay, now if I am to give the absolute location of the European continent, I would take the latitude and longitude location of the farthest points, east, west, north, south, and I say that this is an extent. There is a difference between an extent and a location. Extent is when you have a larger object and you are giving the stretch of that particular object, east, west, north, south. That is called as the extent. And latitudes and longitudes are used to give you the extent also. But when you want to pinpoint, okay, now if I'm zooming into a Pune map, okay, a map of Pune, I would have the eastern limits, the western limits, the eastern limits, the northern limits, and the southern limits of Pune. But I zoom out of the Pune map, and I have the world map, and I have to just point out Pune on the world map. You'll see that from at that point, I would be shifting from having the extent of Pune to having the location of Pune, the pinpoint location of Pune. So these are minor things that as students of geography, we need to keep in mind. Though they are not a part of your syllabus, a theory syllabus, you have them as your part of study in your practical. So we need to keep this in mind. And that is the main reason I am putting that all in front of you right away. A relative location, I would say, is a location which you relate to. And normally this thing that you have to relate to is is a larger object. Now, you'll see that if you have siblings, nowadays, of course, most families are nucleated families with one child and so on and so forth. But if you have a sibling and both of you all have been to the same school, you'll see that if you are the elder brother, your elder brother, sister, your younger ones are always related to, okay, oh, this guy, he is the younger brother of that particular guy. So that is relative, and that is how the grammatical word relative, you are relating someone to someone, a brother, a mother, a father. Okay, the same aspect is used in geography as well. You relate it to something. A continent, I'm going to relate it to a water body. Now, why do I relate a continent to a water body? Because you have 3/4 of water bodies on this planet, and you have only 1/4 of continental locations on this particular planet. So when I'm going to refer to a particular continent, say for example, North American continent on a large scale, I would say that it is between the Pacific Ocean to its west and the Atlantic Ocean to its east. So that is how I would relate a continent. As I go zoom in, I would be relating things to other aspects. Now, I would zoom all the way into SP College, and I would say that if I am to I'm not known to SP College, okay, as many students would not be. They would ask, how do I go to SP College? Okay, now if you are out of Pune, you would say that, okay, you go to Pune, and it is in between, the distance between Deccan Gymkhana and Swargate. So this obviously means that Swargate and Deccan Gymkhana are more prominent locations as compared to SP College. And there is a probability that a larger number of people would be knowing Deccan Gymkhana and Swargate. Or you could use the road that is connecting Deccan Gymkhana and Swargate, that is the Tilak Road. Okay, so somebody would say that, okay, you go to, say, it's placed between Deccan Gymkhana and Swargate, or you could say you go to Deccan Gymkhana if you're approaching from this side, or you go to Swargate if you're going to approach from that side. And they would say that, okay, you start moving on the Tilak Road, and on the Tilak Road, you ask anyone, they would tell you where the location of SP College is. Okay, so the latitude, longitude location of SP College is the absolute location, and that it is near to Deccan Gymkhana, that it is near to Swargate is the relative location. I hope you understand what I am referring to as far as locations are concerned. And as I said, you can read here about the absolute and the relative locations. Here you'll see that what is an absolute location. We have already seen the mathematical way of calculating locations using latitudes and longitudes. Of course, you'll study further that latitude longitudes are further divided into degrees and minutes and so on and so forth. And relative location, we have said that it's near to something, okay, it's next to something, it's opposite something, and so on and so forth. That is relative location. So use these relative locations with regards to the scale. As I said, larger objects would be with reference to geographical entities, smaller objects would be with reference to some other thing. Okay, so in fact, now just to go ahead, I would say that just across our college you would have some say XYZ store. Okay, so if you're looking for that, then somebody would say that, oh, that place, you just go to SP College, and next to just opposite to SP College you have that particular place. Okay, so for example, you're looking for SP's Biryanis, you don't know where SP Biryani house is. People would say that go to SP College, just opposite to SP College you have SP Biryani. By the way, SP Biryanis has no direct connection with SP College. It's its own brand name. By the way. So it's not necessary that SP College is referred to other places as a relative location. Other places also can be referred to as a relative location with reference to SP College. It's a matter of fact which is the more prominent object. Okay, so that is as far as location is concerned. Now, the second theme of geography is place. Okay, what is it like there? In the sense, you say that, okay, I've been to Mahabaleshwar. Okay, now Mahabaleshwar is a place. Somebody who has not been to Mahabaleshwar would say that, well, what is it all about? Okay, what are the natural characteristics of Mahabaleshwar? What are the human characteristics of Mahabaleshwar, and so on and so forth. So, as far as a place is concerned, let us put it here. What are the characteristics? What are its? Why is Mahabaleshwar called as Mahabaleshwar? What is so important about Mahabaleshwar? Is there any important aspect? Say for example, we have just have it in front of you that when you're speaking about New York, what is so important about New York? That it is home to the Statue of Liberty and the Empire State Buildings, and of course there is a lot of diversity. So you'll see that you have the human aspect to it. Okay, now what is the human and the natural aspect? We'll just go back to that. Okay, what are the natural characteristics? What are the human characteristics? If a place is known, whether a place is known as a to have more of natural characteristics, whether a place is known to have more of human characteristics. Now, it is not that, please remember that it is not that a place which is known by natural characteristics will be having only natural characteristics. It may have human characteristics, but the natural characteristics outdo the human characteristics. Similarly, as far as Mumbai, as far as human characteristics are concerned, you may have a place which has dominant human characteristics. That again does not mean that it does not have natural characteristics, but the fact that human characteristics will override the natural characteristics. For example, an urban place like Mumbai, I just spoke about, I just used the word Mumbai. Now, if I'm speaking about Mumbai, what are the characteristics that I would be speaking about Mumbai? Oh, it's huge. It's the place where Bollywood is. So Bollywood is something related to human beings. Okay, it has a lot of humans. Okay, it has a lot of railways. Again, railways are constructed by human beings. Then you'll see that it has a lot of population density. Also, it has very high-rise, many number of high-rise buildings, and so on and so forth. So all these are human characteristics. Now, what is the natural aspect of human being of Mumbai? The fact that it has a coastline, that it has a sea. Okay, this is the natural aspect. Now, the sea is something which human beings have not built, so that is the natural aspect. So anything minus human beings is going to be called as the natural aspect in geography, and anything that has human aspect in it, the population, the density, the railway, the buildings, okay, even agriculture, as a matter of fact, all of this is our human aspects. And here I would like to remind you all that your two papers, paper 1 and paper 2, have a distinct difference between them. I suppose Tigray sir the other day was speaking about a bit about these divisions and so on and so forth. So everything that is natural, that is studied in geography, is basically the natural geography or physical geography, as it is called. You call it as natural geography, or you would be calling it as physical geography. And you would see that everything that is related to humans is called as human geography. Now you would say, why does geography do that? The scope of geography is huge. As I said, it's something that we take pride in, that it touches every subject, and it literally goes into every aspect that on the surface of this earth. Okay, it goes with the spatial aspect and the temporal aspect. We have seen this in an earlier slide when we spoke about the brief definition of geography as such. Okay, now I'll just see. Okay, 25 minutes more to go. Now, again, I would remind you that only natural characteristics. Now, there are going to be areas wherein there could be only natural characteristics. Say, for example, you go deep into the Antarctic continent, you go deep into the Himalayan ranges, you'll see that you would exclusively have natural aspects. But in human things, you will see that you can't say that you exclusively have human aspects. There are going to be some natural aspects in places where you would want to say that no, this place is absolutely 100% human. Okay, you'll see that any place in that particular area, you'll see the very fact that you have sunlight in a particular area means, in spite of that place being 100% human, sunlight is something natural, rainfall is something natural, high temperature is something natural, low temperature is something natural, wind is something natural. So while natural or physical geography could be without human geography, let me remind you, human geography cannot be without natural geography. So it's dependent. Now I'm referring to this basically because there were some I would say dualisms. There are some dualisms in geography which people tend to attend to, but we will speak about them when we move to that particular aspect. Now, from the second theme, that is place, which we identify by using the natural characteristics or the human characteristics, we would go to the third theme. We possibly would be finishing off with the themes today. Okay, now the third theme, what does the third theme mean? Let us see what the third theme is all about. Okay, it's basically, now you'll see that the first thing was location, then we said place. Now places are of two types. You have natural characteristics and human characteristics, and as I said, that human characteristics cannot be without natural characteristics. Now the fact that they cannot be without them means that there is going to be some interaction, isn't it? Okay, when there is going to be rain, you're going to use an umbrella. When there is going to be a chilly weather, you're going to use a sweater. When you are having very high temperatures, you're going to use cotton clothes. So there is some interaction. Now this is personal interaction. Human beings as a lot also have an interaction with the environment. Say for example, construction of a road through mountainous regions. Here you have an interaction of human beings with the environment. So the third theme, what geography looks into. The first thing was we look into the location, then we identify a place. And in the place, we see the natural and the human characteristics. And now we are going further down into the subject, wherein now we start understanding the man and nature relationship, the human and environment interaction. How do people interact with the environment? How have people used the environment? Okay, the fact that we have a lot of pollution today and we speak about those aspects means that we have not judiciously used the environment, isn't it? How have people adapted to the environment? I would say to some extent we have adapted, but as individuals, as you and me now, you have mobile phones or laptops in front of you. I have my mobile phone and my laptop. So we have adapted, but as humanity, can we say so? I doubt, basically because you have a lot of issues related to mankind in different parts of the world. For India, you would say we have border issues with China and Pakistan. So that is adaptation. Have we adapted to the boundaries? No. Okay, so that's something. Then I would say that presently you have this issue happening between Armenia and Azerbaijan. I don't know how many of you all know about this. If you know, it's fantastic. If you don't know, please start reading, particularly those who are aspiring for the UPSC. So you have individuals who have differences and you have countries who are fighting against each other. So that is another aspect of adaptation. Then further on humanity, are we able to feed the 7 billion plus population that we have on this planet? We have failed miserably. In fact, if you have been reading newspapers, you'll see that India on the hunger index has just improved marginally. I think it was 96, 95. It has come to 94, 93. But unfortunately, the fact remains that Bangladesh and Pakistan fare much better as considered to India when it comes to on the hunger index. Now, there could be difficulties with regards this because the data has been for the last 6 months and we have been facing problems with corona. And similarly, you'll see that when we speak about economic geography, you must have read about uh, a thing that came up in news that very soon Bangladesh would have a better per capita income than in India. But again, that is something that is more related to the last 6 months of Corona that we had. And let me tell you that students of statistics will know that the basic difference between statistics and mathematics is gets you the values of x, y, and z that you are looking for. Statistics may not give you that value. Statistics would say probably it may so happen that the probable value of x is this, probable value of y is this, and probable value of z is this. And then you have the test of confidence that, okay, I have this value in probability. Whether what are the chances that this particular value is going to be absolutely right is what you are checking in statistics. Anyway, coming back to the geography aspect, we use a lot of mathematics and statistics in geography, and that is why I shifted there. But as I said, that geography uses all these things, and how have people adapted to this particular environment from an individual level to a global level, from a country to humanity to civilization to past civilizations and possibly the future civilizations. All this will be how man interacts with the environment around him. And how have people modified or changed the environment? Have they adapted themselves, or have they adapted? How have they modified the environment around them? Now, the cities that we live is nothing but modification of habitation by human beings around them. They have literally changed things. Okay, you'll see that every now and then you'll see that outskirts. Every 10 years you'll see that the periphery of a particular city, it changes. Okay, the fringe areas, as they are called in settlement geography, they change. Okay, you'll see that 20 years ago there could be a place which is known for farming, but as a city near it grows, you'll see that the farming is stopped, and then eventually you have huge colonies coming up in those areas as such. So all this is about how people modify. Now you would ask me, why do we do this? Why? What is the reason that we need to see how people have used the environment, how people have adapted to the environment, and how people have modified or changed the environment? Let me tell you, as I said in the earlier point, okay, that human characteristics cannot be without natural things. Okay, we need water, we need sunshine, we need food. So all this comes from the environment, isn't it? And the problem that I spoke about just a few minutes ago is the fact that we have not been able to feed the cent% population on this planet, is because we have not been adaptable as far as environment is concerned, or probably we have not seen into the relationship between human beings and the environment around him. So that is why geography calls for a study of relationship between human beings and environment. How much resources do you have? How are you using them today? Are you using them judiciously? Is the use of that particular resource causing problems to you? Is all these questions that need to be answered when we're speaking about human environment as such. Okay, and if you go into the further thing, how do people change the environment? Okay, and we can say for a fact that all these issues that we have about hunger and climate change is that human beings have not changed the environment positively. Okay, how does the environment affect people who live there? It is nowadays say affecting it adversely. Though we are trying to adapt, you'll see that the increased intensity of the rain here and there. We'll see that what has happened in Maharashtra. You'll see that many people are calling for this to be called as Ola Dushkal, as it is called in Marathi, that the crops of different farmers in different parts of Maharashtra, right from soybean and cotton in eastern parts of Maharashtra to sugarcane and again various types of legumes, that's tuar dal, etc. In Marathwada region. Okay, it's the rain has literally, and this is, by the way, the retreating monsoon. It's not the advancing monsoon. It's the retreating monsoon. These retreating monsoons have played havoc in major parts of Maharashtra. So you'll see that environment is affecting, and in fact, you'll see that you have this picture of a cyclone, a storm here. As it's basically because I got these clips from this image from the net. You'll see that that photograph is about the 2012 Hurricane Sandy, which in fact caused a lot of damage as far as the main city of New York is concerned. So you'll see that we are heavily dependent on the environment, and every time that we feel that yes, we have conquered nature, nature says cool down, cool down. You have still not conquered, and it is, I personally believe that it is impossible for human beings to conquer upon nature, okay, outright. Okay, yes, we would have some difficulties solved for ourselves, but not absolutely. So that is the third theme. Then we come to an interesting theme, and which is called as the movement. How is the place connected to other place? Okay, and this is something that we learn in transport geography. You see that all around Pune nowadays you have these works of metro going on. And why are we building the metro? Basically, people can travel at faster paces, and we use lesser amount of vehicles. Now, why does the government want us to use lesser amount of vehicles? Basically, it wants to see us traveling in a more cleaner environment, because every individual pulling out his her own vehicle and traveling on the road will cause a lot of congestion. This congestion will waste your time. In along with that, there is going to be pollution, and you would be breathing in that air, polluted air. So to avoid this, of course, there is an other side to this, and about infrastructural development, and scientists have the other view. At some other point, let us speak about that also. But as far as movement is concerned, how is a place connected to other places? How and why have people, goods, and ideas moved in and out of a particular place? So, movement of ideas, movement of goods, movement of individuals using various paths. Okay. In fact, nowadays we have what is called as virtual movement. Okay. You'll see that in this wireless age, okay, I'm in fact addressing to you through this wireless age, isn't it? Okay. I have my data pack. I'm speaking across a particular platform. You are hearing me across on the other side using your gadget. So from movement individually, we have come to what is called as virtual movement. What I'm speaking, my ideas, as a teacher of geography, are moving towards you. Okay, many of you all are understanding. Some of you all are not understanding. We would address to it once again if you have not understood at some point of time. So that is all movement is about. And geography interests, or geography speaks about a lot of movement of various types. Okay, here you'll see that how do people move, goods move, ideas get from place to place. Okay, is all that geography. This is the fourth theme of that geography studies as such. And then finally, one of the, say, fortes that geography tends to, okay, we identify places into regions. Okay, into regions. How might common geographical characteristics help us to understand a particular place? How can the place be divided into region? To what regions does the place belong? Now, I would say that land and water are two regions on a very, 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 very broad scale. Okay, within land, if it is near the equator, I would say an equatorial region. And as far as this equatorial region is concerned, it has its own characteristics. Similarly, monsoon, the place in which we live, monsoon regions have their own characteristics. Now, what are these characteristics? How these characteristics are decided? We'll go into those discussions at some later point. But then, from savanna to Mediterranean to cold deserts to hot deserts to tundra to taiga, you'll see that geographically, geographically, we have divided these areas into different places. That is what geography does. You'll see that it divides these places into regions. Now, what exactly regions mean? How are we divide? How is it divided into areas of similar characteristics? What other places does it share its characteristics with, so on and so forth? They have said that New York here is divided into different regions as such. Similarly, you'll see that Pune, we divide Pune into these different pates. Those who are from Pune will understand this. Those who are not from Pune will have to wait till our on-campus college starts, and then you will come to know about the Sadashiv Pate, where SP College is, and then you have the Narayan Pate, and then you have the Somwar Pate, and the Budhwar Pate, and the Ravivar Pate, and so on and so forth. These are nothing but divisions. Of course, these are administrative divisions. These are not geographical divisions as such. So these are the five themes that that a geographer should be aware of. What is a geographer learning? The geographer is learning locations. The geographer is learning places. Geographer is learning places in human aspect, places in natural aspect. Then a geographer is learning this natural and human interrelationship, interaction. How does this happen? While this happens, how does the movement of goods, people, place, ideas, etc. take place? And finally, how do we identify the regions in various areas? So remember, the very fact that geography is called as a jack of all trades is so many things that you have to study. You could be studying anything, everything, and literally everything below the sun. And of course, everything below the sun is just a phrase. I would say we are in fact going to study what happens beneath the crust also, when you're going to speak about plate tectonics, and when you're going to with regards the natural part, with regards the human part, when we go into mining, for example, we are going deep into the subsurface, isn't it? In fact, in one of the say initial topics, we are going to speak about the interior of the earth. So it's not only anything and everything just below the sun, but it is under the sun, rather it is under the surface of the earth also. So this huge scope for geography, there is going to be some time before you understand what are the perspectives, job opportunities, and what is the future of geography as such. And of course, geography adheres to its style of studying in a bit of different way as compared to other pure sciences or humanities. By pure sciences, I mean physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, and so on and so forth. And by humanities, I mean economics, and I mean psychology, and I mean sociology, and I mean history as such. Okay, a very vast subject, but an equally simple subject if you are known to this. Now, I don't know how did it, whether it struck to many of y'all that how did I, how can I claim to be a true student of geography? You'll see that while I was speaking about this, I took you from the land and the water continents to different parts of the world, and then we came to the human aspect of current events when we spoke about the difficulty that we have between Azerbaijan and Armenia on one side, and then we came to the local part. Again, something about general knowledge that you should be knowing, that most parts of Maharashtra have the agricultural say development, or the agricultural status in most parts of Maharashtra has been severely damaged in recent parts. So a geographer should be in a position to zoom in, zoom out, and that is what scale is all about. Okay, you should be known to the smaller aspects of the smaller aspects of current events to the larger aspects, and in fact you should be able to connect them to each other. I'm not asking you all to connect Azerbaijan and the agriculture in Maharashtra, but other aspects, and that is what this interaction is all about. Okay, so this is all about the 5 themes that we learn in geography. Next time we meet, not tomorrow, next Monday, we'll go into the other, we'll just revise this once again, and then we'll go into the other aspects of understanding geography further. I hope you are fairly known to the fact, um, known to the fact as what has been happening with all these things. Extent, and somebody has put this, that Akshata says that sir, will you explain extent and location again? Yes. And this is a very funny question. Rishikesh says that I'm new, sir. How many lessons in geography? I would say please come out of your school and high school and secondary education model. We are looking at subjects overall. Yes, we are going to go chapter wise, but let me assure you that we have not done much as far as the syllabus is concerned. I'm basically explaining geography to most of the students till now, and how we should be handling all these things is what I have been speaking about. for the last what we started last week. So this is our third, fourth lecture. So don't worry, you have not lost much. Okay, and what does he say that अब तक geography के कितना का अब तक ज्योग्राफी का कितना हुआ है सर? अरे रुको रुको भाई ऋषिकेश, we there are some more things before we actually go into the syllabus. I don't know whether I've shared the syllabus, but I don't think next time also I'll be going into the details of the syllabus. It's going to be some time, as I've already said, that the UGC officially says that you start in November, and we still have a couple of weeks before we go reach November. So don't worry, we are very well placed as far as geography is concerned. So as of today and for this week, I'll stop here. As I said, tomorrow I'm going to schedule a lecture for those students who I would be interacting in Marathi for some time. That's going to be on Zoom. So all those students would stay tuned and wait for the link that I post there. That's all for today, and let us stop here. If you have any queries, of course, you could post these queries in our group also. I would be answering now. The query about extent and location needs to be gone into detail. So that query I will come back and answer, but smaller questions here and there, we could always, and of course, some issues about location and extent, I would be posting in the group also. That's all for the day. Stay home, stay safe. I'm ending my broadcast here. Thank you.